Welcome to Hangout with Mercy, a real life show where we are going to be talking about teenagers, parents, and real family. Welcome with me on the show, Mrs. Openiyi, a counselor who has worked with teenagers both in the school setting and outside the school setting. Today, she's going to be sharing with us her experience with teenagers, even as a mother. And also, I have with me Abiola, who is a school SAT holder and is here with us to share life experience about how to understand teenager. I'd like you to know our topic today is teenagers of today. Thank you. Welcome on the show today, ma.
Thank you, ma.
Welcome, Abiola, on the show today.
Thank you.
All right. Today's topic, we want to be talking about teenagers of today. Abiola, as a teenager, can you please tell us how you feel about being a teenager?
How we feel about being teenager. As teenager, sometimes we feel like we are adults and we are not adults. And sometimes we still behave like kids and we are not kids. So we are between the age of 13 to 19. So teens, we are not kids and we are not adults. We are the range. So later we become adults.
Wow, fantastic. Did you just listen to the definition that Abiola just gave? Wow. So you agree with me that a teenager is not a kid anymore. They are not a kid. They are no more babies and they are no more kids. They are teenagers. They are transiting from being a child, from baby, a child, preteen, to becoming an adult. But they are not yet adults. They are teenagers. And so that's what we've been able to hear from Abiola. And I also want to ask our counselor on the show today, before I come back to Abiola. Ma, can you tell our people at home, what does it feel to be a teenager?
Thank you. To be a teenager, just really like Abiola has said, that they are not kids. Also, they are not adults. They are undergoing hormonal changes. And so they tend to have mood swings. And so while undergoing this, parents need to know to be calm, to understand them. Because they are trying to figure out their identity, who they are. So I think that's what.
Thank you so much for that response. Yes, they are going through hormonal changes. Their hormones are changes. They are changing from being a child hormone to being an adult hormone. So that behavioral stage is what we often sometimes judge them about. So now I want to go back to Abiola. Abiola, can you tell us, how do you think adults misunderstand teenager?
How they misunderstood teenagers. They misunderstood us for kids. Sometimes when we want to talk, they shun us that don't talk like that. Then sometimes when we want to react with them, they'll shun us that you are not in our level. I mean, we think that we are their level, but we are not. And sometimes when we want to behave in a kid's manner, they will show us that should stop that. You are not a kid. So which one should we do now? we cannot do like kid and we cannot do like adults. So that's why they misunderstood us. And sometimes when we want to correct our maybe siblings or our senior ones, they'll show us that you cannot correct them. When I'm here, why are you correcting them? So that because if you are correcting them too much, we're going to feel like we are we are adults and we are not like adults. So that's
wow, Abiola, I can so relate with you. Like mothers, caregivers, health workers, parents out there. Can you just listen to what Abiola had just said? When they want to behave like a kid, you'll be like, stop that. You're not a kid. When they want to behave like an adult, you'll be like, are you the mother in the house? I am here. Why are you scolding your younger ones? So we can see that teenagers are being many times misunderstood. And rather for us to listen to them, we judge them. On this show today, Hangouts with Mercy, all we want parents, guardians to know or to take home is that do not judge our teenagers anymore, rather than listen to them and don't judge them. So now, I want to ask our counselor, Ma, please, concerning what he had just said, how do you think parents can do better in understanding our teenager based on what Abiola had just said?
Yes, as counselor, as parents, we must validate their feelings.
Validate their feeling.
We must
Thank you, Ma.
validate their feelings, give them time. We should allow them to express their feelings. Then we will come out from the angle of parents, either to correct them, we put them through where we want them to be or what we want them to know. But at first, we must stay calm to understand them. Let them express themselves. No, due to that, when not changes, it stay high on them and they want to express it, and we must allow them because it is their season, it is their time.
Thank you very much, Ma. She said something. She said the hormonal changes, the hormonal behaviors is still high on them. So therefore, parents out there, guardians out there, caregivers out there, teachers out there, we are imploring you today from Hangout with Mercy that we should all please be patient to listen to our teenagers rather than judging them. So Abiola, I'd like to ask you again, in your home view, how do you think parents can do better so that we can bridge this gap? It is obvious that there is a gap already.
Yes.
So we want to close the gap. That is the essence of this show. Please, can you share with us how you think that this can be done? Thank you.
When our parents want to bridge the gap to know our levels, they need to stay with us, to have time with us. The person that you don't stay with, you cannot know his or her behavior. Some teenagers, you think that they are kids because they will be behaving like kids. While some even kids, they will still be behaving like adults. So some teenagers, they behave like kids, while some teenagers behave like adults. Sometimes some teenagers will see what they love doing when they are kids. They want to go and join the kids, but they will just don't stop doing that. But when you know that this is what he likes to do, sometimes you leave him to do it. Then some teenagers, they love behaving like adults. When it comes once like that, you just give him time to just behave like that. So that's when we can bridge the gap.
All right, thank you, Abiola. If you listen to what Abiola said, Abiola is encouraging parents out there to please create more time with their teenagers. He said something, I don't know if you listen. Some teenagers, even at home, they can be behaving like a kid. But even outside the home, they have another character. And some teenagers are already behaving like an adult already. And while some teenagers behave like kids. And oftentimes, they can change. They can sometimes behave like a kid and sometimes behave like an adult. And he also mentioned something before we end this show. He said that you should also allow them to contribute. Because when they want to contribute into certain issues, you tend to shut them and say that you can't correct us. You are a kid. And so Abiola is advocating for all teenagers out there to say that they are no more kids. They also understand what is going on. They are becoming an adult, but they are not an adult yet. So spend more time with them, listen to them, create time to create a relationship with them. In your busy schedule, I know we are all busy, but let's create time for them. When you come back from work, sit them down, ask them, how was school today? What did you learn? Did you make new friends? Did you have any challenge? How are you able to solve today's challenges? So on this show today, before we bring it to an end, we would like once again to ask our counselor for one or two tips for our parents on how we can bridge the gap.
Thank you, moderator. We must set clear boundaries for them. Like what we want them to be watching, where we want them to go, and with reasons. We must let them understand the reasons why we are setting that boundaries for them. The negative impact it will have on them, the positive impact it will also have on them. Also, we must create and spend quality time with our children, with our teenagers. We shouldn't be putting them aside, shunning them off. We must create time, because if we drive them away, they won't be able to express themselves. They won't be able to open up onto us. I saw doing they can go out there and share their feelings with their friends, and thereby they can be misled. They can be misled. So we must create quality time with them, set boundaries for them with reasons made clear to them.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Victoria. She said something. She said, we must set boundaries. And she said another thing. Why setting boundaries? We must tell them why some boundaries are being set. Oftentimes, we just set boundaries. And do you know that they are very curious? They want to know why you are setting the same boundaries. If they don't understand why you are setting certain boundaries, they will do that thing you don't want them to do. Abiola, please, can you share with us a certain scenario where you were misunderstood? A certain thing that you do and you felt like this is not what I actually wanted to say. Yes. This is not what I actually wanted to do. And you were never given an opportunity to explain yourself. Rather, you kept it to yourself and you have nobody to explain to. Do you have any scenario like that?
It has been long. So one, I wanted to tell my mom something. She shunned me. I was trying to tell her that it's like this, it's like this, it's like this. She was just showing me that I do want preparing it, I do want doing it, I do want leading it. Okay. That time, when the time actually came, it was my idea that she later did. And she did not allow me to talk when I was bringing the idea.
Wow. Did you hear that? And it's later my idea at the end of the day. So this is commonly done by our parents. When our teenagers has a suggestion and they're trying to bring the suggestion to us, they're trying to tell us, Mommy, I am no more a kid. I have an idea. Let me share my idea with you so that you can better do what you want to do. We often come at them. Don't let me be. At the end of the day, just look at what Abiola just said. It was still his idea. And you know that at the end of the day, sometimes it is still their idea that we use, but we don't tell them that it is their idea. So please, parents, let's listen to them. At least let's hear what they have to say. When we listen to them, then we validate their feelings. That way, you are grooming a leader of tomorrow because they have thought of something and they want to practicalize it. And how would they be able to achieve this? They want to practicalize. They have to share the idea with someone, collaborate with an adult to test that idea that they have. And by the time you listen to them, you had improved their self-esteem. And that way, they do better in school. And they are better even in their society. All right, over to you, Ma. Do you have a life experience where a teenager, maybe in the school or at home, have the same experience, just like Abiola had, and what you were able to do?
Yes, because teenagers, they love to do things in their own way. And when you are trying to correct them, they will still be feeling that, no, that's not how to do it. So what I normally do, I do it a practical way. Like my children, I would take them, to the market. When I want to go to the market, I take them along. And so I will deliberately go and buy things, maybe from my mates, that they are drop out of school. So when we get there, we buy things. And when we leave, we leave that scene, tell them, that woman, can you see her? She's my mate. They say, look at how old she is. I said, yes. But mommy, you are younger. I said, nobody. Can you see what I've been telling you? So with that, I will be able to explain what I've been trying to explain. Then it will sink into them. Trying to tell them that, if you are being corrected to do things, you have to do it. Don't live your life after peers or after friends. You just have to follow your parents' examples and being a role model to them also.
That's very fantastic. She just explained a practical scenario. When you are setting boundaries or you're trying to let the teenagers understand a certain thing, she has been able to take a practical step where she created a scenario, a picture of what can sink into their mind. So that way, when she's now coming to a particular topic, she can now refer to the reason why she's telling them to be able to do a certain thing correctly. For instance, from my illustration, maybe she has been encouraging them to take their studies seriously so that tomorrow they can become a professional. Or she has been asking them to eat more healthy and they've not been listening. And she's able to now show them a practical example to say that when you eat more healthy, you look younger. So this is one of the things that you can do. Show them practical example. When you set your boundaries, make sure you tell them the implications of what they are doing, the implications of what they are not supposed to do. So that is very clear. Setting boundaries and letting them know the implication. Also, Abiola, please, I'd like you to tell us, are you faced with any daily pressure as a teenager? Do you have any daily pressure that you face that is very common? And will you please share with us?
Daily prayer is actually common. Sometimes the behavior, your friend behavior,
Okay.
you'll be doing it all the time, and his own character. You want to be inputting it into your life. Like when I was in secondary school, one of my classmates, she knows to bring food. Whenever I want to eat, she'll make sure that I do not eat. She will not say that. When I ask her, why do you want me allowed to eat? She'll say that she's not eating that. Why will I be eating?
Why will you be eating?
Answer you, why don't you bring food? She said that she's big, that she cannot be bringing food to school, that she's SS2. And I said that hunger, they don't know maybe you are SS2 or not. Hunger will wire you. And I go and meet our younger sister. Did your sister used to eat food? Or she said that she used to eat food. That when that food that they're bringing to school, if it is swallow, she will eat it at home. She will not bring it to school. But if it is rice, she will come and used to do shakara. So because she'd not bring food to school, she did not want me to be bringing food to school. And hunger did not know maybe I bring food to school or I did not bring food to school. So she wanted to input her own lifestyle into my
own lifestyle.
Yes.
So Abiola has just explained what is called peer pressure to us. So peer pressure is one of the daily pressures that our teenagers commonly face in school, in church, wherever they find themselves. And you see why it is very important for you to instill discipline into your child, create boundaries, and let them understand why. It is very good for a child to eat at home, to also take food to school. And when you have other children who do not want to take a certain food to school, maybe because she doesn't want her classmates to see the choice of food that she's eating. In such situation, a child that fall into that category should understand what balanced diet is. As long as the food is healthy, why can't you eat it? Why can't you bring it to school? It's still part of inferiority complex. So we need to be able to teach our teenagers to take hold of their life, to have confidence, and be able to take decision even at their age, so that you don't toss them around, just like Abiola experienced in school while he was still in secondary school. So it is very, very, very important for parents to create time with their teenagers and ask them questions. If your child does not want to do a certain thing, you should be able to ask questions. Why didn't you want to take food to school? You might be lucky. She might tell you. Then from there, you'll be able to say, oh, you don't have to stop taking food to school because of this reason, because of that reason. Before you know it, you empower her mind. And that will promote her self-esteem. So parents, it is very, very, very important to talk to our teenagers about peer pressure, so that when they go out there, they will not be pressured to do something negative rather than doing something positive. Ma, please, I'd like you to please expatiate on how to close this gap, especially on this peer pressure among our teenagers. And apart from peer pressure, do you also think that we have some other factors that which act as pressure that teenagers face on a daily basis? You can just tell us one or two, ma.
Yes, apart from peer pressure, we have social media impacts.
Social media impact.
These teenagers know they want to behave as though celebrity. They watch on media, the way they dress, their lifestyle. And you know, these days, earlier I've said that we should censor what they are watching, because we have some of them, you know, that are putting on a ring mail. Some of them, they are creating their ears, because they are celebrity. Teenagers too, they want to identify with them. They thought that those things are what is, you know, is making them to trend. They too, they want to, you know, feel like them, behave like them. They want to become a celebrity like them, thereby introducing such lifestyles into their life, plating their ears, you know, putting on earring, and even some of them, you know, they are into this hard drugs, and because they want to feel high, they want to dance, they want to do this. So merely watching them on social media, they too, they want to practice what they have been seeing them doing. By so doing, as parents, as educators, as counselors, we must censor what they are being introduced to, what they are watching on daily basis.
Fantastic. I'm also learning. Did you just listen to that? Apart from the fact that they face pressure among their mates, social media impact, negative social media impact on our teenagers. When they watch all of these things, they are also pressured to want to act like them. And all of these things can affect their day-to-day activities, changing their perspective from who they are really are. Therefore, we are encouraging our parents that we should spend more time with our teenagers. Thank you, Mrs. Niyi, and thank you, Abiola. Mrs. Victoria, I really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much to Abiola. You're so amazing. You've given reality response to all the questions that you're being asked. Thank you once again on Hangout with Mercy. Next week, we'll come again with a very fantastic topic. Thank you very much, and God bless you.